now on the CTV News at 5. A year of record housing construction in Alberta. Plus a warning about a fundraising fraud. And why Parks Canada is delaying today's launch of camping reservations.
Telling your stories. CTV News Lethbridge with Jackie Scantlebury.
Good afternoon. Thank you for being here. The province says Alberta saw record-breaking home start numbers in 2025, but Lethbridge lagged behind the pace. Quinn Keenan has more.
In 2025, over 50,000 home starts were reached in Alberta. That accounts for almost a quarter of all the starts in the country. It also breaks the province's previous record set in 2024 by 14%.
Housing has been, for the last several years, one of the great affordability and the great crises of our time across this country. It's also been one of the bright spots of our province in this great response by the province and by Albertans and by our industry.
The province has made home construction a priority. They claim cutting red tape through the Stop Housing Delays portal and fostering a low-tax, business-friendly environment has helped builders.
Our regulatory environment, our willingness to continuously improve, innovate, and the support from the provincial government and many municipalities have helped our industry respond to rapid growth pressures better than any other jurisdiction in the country.
While much of the province saw record growth, Lethbridge saw its housing starts drop. 2025 saw 13% fewer housing starts across all property types compared to 2024. Lethbridge has just under 3 months of housing supply.
There is not much for anything under 400,000. If someone wants a detached home that's brand new, they're looking at least 420.
More homes appear to be on the way, with Lethbridge's 6-month moving average for home starts up 21%. But more homes may not put the downward pressure on prices buyers are hoping for.
Seems like it doesn't really affect the prices that much because people who want brand new, and there's always going to be a premium for brand new.
Quinn Keenan, CTV News, Lethbridge.
In other news, the U.S. president took aim at Canada's prime minister today at the World Economic Forum. Trump gave a blistering speech demanding immediate negotiations on Greenland and attacking Mark Carney.
Canada gets a lot of freebies from us, by the way. They should be grateful also, but they're not. I watched your prime minister yesterday. He wasn't so grateful. But they should be grateful to us. Canada lives because of the United States. Remember that, Mark, the next time you make your statements.
Trump's comments come a day after Mark Carney said the global political system is in the midst of a rupture, not a transition. Canada's prime minister said the rules-based international order is not coming back, and nostalgia is not a strategy. Now, in addition to criticizing Carney, Trump focused on Greenland during much of his speech. The U.S. president said he is no longer interested in using military force to acquire the territory, and he's canceled a planned tariff on European allies after they opposed his idea to obtain Greenland. Trump also says he has formed a framework of a future deal after a meeting with the head of NATO. Well, the first shipment of Canadian beef to China in more than 4 years is being prepared. Federal Agriculture Minister Heath MacDonald says China is moving quickly after Ottawa struck a deal with Beijing to reduce tariffs. MacDonald says he is aware of a Canadian company shipping its first load of beef to China next week. China banned Canadian beef in late 2021 after an atypical case of BSE, also known as mad cow disease, was found on an Alberta farm.
That's how quickly this whole process has taken place. It's very interesting because when the door opened, it opened, and business people, and I got to give kudos to our stakeholders, farmers and processors, ranchers. They're ready.
We welcomed them reopening. To be honest, it should have been reopened 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago. There was never scientific justification for maintaining the closure.
A Chinese importer has also bought a shipment of about 60,000 metric tons of Canadian canola. It's the first order since China halted imports in October in the dispute over tariffs. Now, a report from the University of Calgary is warning about the global market for Canadian canola exports. The report found Canada is over-reliant on China and the United States as markets for our canola. Following Canada's agreement with the Chinese government, China and the U.S. will account for 90% of our canola exports. And options to send the crop elsewhere are limited. Most canola in Canada is genetically modified, and the European Union, it has strict restrictions on genetically modified crops. The report also says other countries have limited infrastructure to turn the crop into oil. Well, the recall petition against Alberta's education minister has come up short. The organizer of the petition against Dimitrios Nicolaides says she collected about 6,500 signatures. That's well short of the 16,000 needed to force a recall vote in Calgary-Bow. Still, she believes her initiative was a success.
It tells me that people do care, and this is a growing initiative, and obviously not just in Bow.
So far, 26 recall petitions have been filed against MLAs. 24 of them target UCP MLAs, including Danielle Smith. Let's talk about the forecast with Danielle Savoni. And Danielle, winter weather is on its way back.
It sure is, Jackie, especially for the next 2 days. Now, the story today is it's windy and temperatures are close to where they should be for this time of year. And we're going to take a major dip in temperature in most communities in southern Alberta for the next 2 days. So here's a look at the gusts so far today. 69 in Brooks, over 70 in Medicine Hat, Drumheller looking at 48, Lethbridge, Tamer at 35. The winds will ease, so tomorrow it will still be gusty this evening and in many cases tonight, but the winds will ease for tomorrow. Daytime highs in those minus single digits. This is pretty much where we should be this time of year for most communities. And you can see this is actually a 3-day wind chill warning off into Saskatchewan. We're not going to get that cold, but in some cases wind chills will be in the minus 30s. We'll talk about that coming up, Jackie.
All right, thanks, Danielle. A skier made it out uninjured after getting caught in an avalanche in Lake Louise.
Oh, avalanche, 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 avalanche.
Parks Canada says the skier triggered the slide while just outside the ski area boundary. It was rated as a 2 on a scale of 5, which Avalanche Canada says is about the size of a football field. The skier was carried to the bottom, buried to their waist, and lost their skis, but not hurt. The recent warmer weather has led to an unstable snowpack, and anyone in the backcountry is advised to be careful. Now we have an update for you from Brooks RCMP. 16-year-old Jenna Sear, who was last seen on January 19th and was reported missing, has been found safe. Mounties thank the public for their help. A warning about a fundraising fraud for a Vulcan County hobby farm following a fire.
I just want everybody to know that we only have one fundraiser that was set up by my sister, and that is Give, Send, Go. It's pretty sad that someone would go to this extent.
Haley Williamson, the owner of Tip and Tumble Hobby Farm, posting this warning on social media about the scam. Almost 2 weeks ago, fire damaged a barn and injured several animals. Haley and her partner also needed medical treatment after rescuing the animals. All 50 animals on the hobby farm were rescued. They have now been moved to another property. Fire investigators are still trying to determine the cause of the blaze. The Give, Send, Go fundraiser was created to help raise money for vet bills and shelter for the animals. If you have donated to any other fundraiser for the hobby farm, you're urged to ask for a refund and report the page as fraud. It's the end of an era for a toy store in Lethbridge. Going out of business signs have been set up at the Toys R Us location near Park Place Mall. Last year, the location was put up for sale with a price tag of $15 million. There's no information about how many employees are affected or when the final day of business will be. Earlier this week, though, the final store at Calgary's Cross Iron Mills closed. The City of Lethbridge Electric Utility Department is upgrading residential and commercial electricity meters that are due for testing. The city says meters in Lethbridge have a 10-year lifespan, and after that, the city is required by Measurement Canada to send a sample of expired meters to an approved agency for testing. Properties that received a mailed letter, they are the only ones being upgraded. The city says a technician will come to the property to perform the installation. Well, Parks Canada had to delay today's launch of some camping reservations, including for Waterton Lakes National Park. There is a technical issue affecting the website, as well as some other government websites. Reservations were supposed to open today for Waterton, Elk Island National Park, and Rocky Mountain House National Historic Site. Parks Canada says there will be advance notice on a new reservation day when that's determined. it is already time for our first break, which means Danielle has your 5-day forecast when we come back. Plus, a new survey finds more older Canadians have a rather bleak view of their golden years.
All right, here's your sky cam from about an hour ago, facing south. Beautiful, actually. Yes, it's a little on the windy side in communities to the east of Lethbridge. Temperatures are where they should be, so it's a little chilly, especially cold compared to what we've had over the past week and a half because it's been so warm. So we're starting the cooling trend here. We're getting eased into it. -2 is the temperature right now in Pincher Creek, -1 in Lethbridge, -5 in Medicine Hat, -3 in Milk River. That does not include wind chill. You can tack on another few degrees for how it feels, and even another 7 degrees when the winds are gusty. So it definitely feels closer to almost the minus double digits in many spots, especially off to the east, because in Medicine Hat, we've had a gust up to 74 kilometers per hour today. Brooks, 69, and in those 30s for Lethbridge, Calgary, Red Deer in those mid-50s. So it's been a windy day. The winds will continue for the evening hours. Will start to ease a little bit in the overnight hours, but will certainly ease for tomorrow. Tomorrow is a different story. The big news tomorrow is much colder temperatures and even coming with a few flurries. All right, so nothing going on right now. We will see cloud cover on and off. And then for tomorrow morning, there's a small chance of getting some flurries in the far south. So keep that in mind. And then an even greater chance in the afternoon hours. And it could actually accumulate. In Lethbridge, for example, we could see a couple centimeters from this in some very isolated areas. Most likely closer to a centimeter or a light dusting, but something anyway. And it may reduce visibility out there a little bit because it will be combined with a little bit of wind, but we're not looking at excessive gusts for tomorrow. But because we will have some wind, we have wind chill. So it will feel more like -11 tomorrow in the East Kootenay area. -4 will be the daytime high, and we'll also still feel like -11 in the afternoon with the wind chill, with a mix of sun and cloud. Crow's Nest Pass -15 overnight tonight with a wind chill of -23, which is what your wind chill will be early tomorrow morning when off to work and school as that sun starts to rise. A few flurries possible throughout the day and a high of -13 in the afternoon. Medicine Hat -17, gusting 50 kilometers per hour even for the next for the rest of the evening, and then quieting down mostly in those late overnight hours. With the wind chill, -31 is what it will feel like tomorrow when off to work and school, and a few flurries throughout the day can be expected, and a high of -16. So the cool down is here, especially you'll notice it for tomorrow. You need to have the parka ready to go. With the wind chill in the morning in Lethbridge, -22 is what it will feel like. Potentially a centimeter of snow from this first round on Thursday, and a high of -13. Even colder for Friday, -15, and then 2 to 4 centimeters of snow on Saturday with somewhat warmer temperatures, a high of -8.
We have a new troubling snapshot about how Canadians feel about getting older. CTV's Maria Serro highlights the struggles and the gaps in support for those in need.
Cards slide and flip face down before the next hand of bridge hits the table. It's a familiar game for these folks, played with familiar faces. And for some seniors, it's a chance to mingle and make new friends.
If you're left on your own, what's there for you?
David Blackier mans this front desk one day a week, ticking off members' names as they arrive.
Bill's in.
It's part of how he stays connected to his community here at the Seniors Active Living Centre. The National Institute on Aging surveyed thousands of people 50 plus and found optimism about getting older fell from 62% in 2024 to 57% in 2025. Another 57% also reported experiencing loneliness, with 43% at risk of social isolation.
Social isolation is akin to the kind of outcomes we see with chronic disease. So it can really reduce somebody's ability to live a healthy, independent life.
The biggest barriers differ depending on the age group.
For the 50 to 64-year-olds, affordability was definitely the number one. For the older cohort of older adults, the 80 plus, the number one barrier was around health limitations.
That's why both affordability and accessibility mattered. And Blackier says a low-cost membership for the centre helps.
We're providing something here that is very healthy for them. I've heard 90-year-olds and well into the 90-year-olds saying, oh my gosh, Dave, if we didn't have this, what would we do?
Experts say community-based seniors organizations like this center need more investment, with many relying on unsteady funding and volunteer support. Maria Saru, CTV News, Charlottetown.
Today is Bell Let's Talk Day, an annual conversation about mental health. This is the 16th year for the annual event, which promotes mental health awareness and conversation. This year's theme is taking a moment for mental health, urging people to make self-care a priority and to check in on others. Bell is giving $10 million towards Canadian mental health, bringing its total Bell Let's Talk investment to $194 million since 2010. New research suggests horses may be able to smell human fear. A study published in peer-reviewed journal PLOS One shows when horses smelled sweat from people watching scenes from the horror movie Sinister, they startled more easily, they had higher heart rates. Now that's compared to horses who smelled sweat from people watching happier clips from Singing in the Rain. Researchers say while more studies are needed, the findings suggest fear transferred through odor could be contagious between humans and horses. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, the 84-year-old who has accomplished one of golf's rarest feats. Lethbridge Hurricanes find themselves stuck in a 7-game losing skid, and they'll have a chance to get back into the win column tonight. The Brandon Wheat Kings are in town for a midweek matchup. The Wheaties have lit up the Canes this year, scoring 7 goals in each of the 3 games between the two. Despite the offense, Brandon only holds a 2-1 edge in this season series. This game goes at 7 at the VLC. After having their 19-game winning streak snapped, the Medicine Hat Tigers were back at it, trying to start a new one. Last night, they hosted the Calgary Hitmen for a rare Tuesday tilt. After going down 1-0 early, Liam Ruck tips one home to the game for the home side late in the first, now late in the second, and it's Andrew Bashaw who found the back of the net as he stays hot since rejoining the Tigers. Jonas Wu would make it 3-1 a minute later with his 24th of the season. Midway through the third now, and it's Noah Davidson scoring to make it 4-1, and that would be the game winner as a Calgary comeback comes up short. Tigers win 4-3. 4 players from Southern Alberta have been named to Team East for the 2026 WHL Prospects game. Hurricanes defenseman Kyle Hager was named to the team. The 18-year-old has appeared in 6 games since being acquired by the Canes from the Medicine Hat Tigers, collecting 4 points. The Tigers have 4 players named to Team East. Marcus Ruck, along with his brother Liam Ruck, have made the team. Joining with them will be Yaroslav Briziglov and goalie Carter Casey. The Prospects game will take place in Calgary, February 18th. An 84-year-old Florida golfer has achieved a rare feat. He has gotten an eagle and a hole-in-one in the same round. NBC's Kendall Hyde has more.
At just 84 years of age, Mike Garofalo knows he's a little bit past his athletic prime. However, he turned the clock back on Father Time just last week, as through 6 holes, he was hitting 7 under par. If you ask Mark Garofalo who he is, he'll tell you, just your average guy.
Thank God I have a terrific wife, 4 children, 9 grandchildren, and just had our 3rd great-grandchild this week.
He says with everyone out of the house, he's keeping himself busy these days on the golf course.
I've been doing it a long time. It's a challenging sport because there's so many different aspects to it, and it's always a challenge.
It's a challenge that he accepts. In fact, he's been playing for over 60 years and even has quite the trophy room, including 8 hole-in-ones. But his greatest day on the course came last Tuesday.
I had a birdie on the 2nd hole. We got to the 7th hole, and I hit my tee shot, and it went through the trees and on the green. I sank it for an eagle.
Oh, but the lucky day didn't stop there.
Get to the 11th hole, and I hit the shot. Somebody said, gee, that looks really good. So we went up to the green, and I said, I don't see the ball.
After looking, they found it in the most unlikely place.
So one of the guys goes over and looks in the cup, and he goes, yeah, there it is.
Now, I know you say you're just the average guy that takes pride in your kids, grandkids, and now great-grandkids. How cool is this to be able to tell 3 generations, I did something pretty cool on the greens?
I immediately got on the phone and called all of my children, and they passed it on to their children as well.
Hey, Mr. G, you've inspired me to run out to the greens. Hopefully I can redo the day that you had.
Runners have finished one of the world's most extreme long-distance races. During the pole of the cold winter marathon in northeastern Russia, racers battled temperatures around minus 41 degrees Celsius at the start. There were two races, one 50 kilometers, another the standard 42.2 kilometers. Now, this region is among the coldest inhabited places on Earth. The winner of the ultramarathon did it in 3 hours, 28 minutes, while the marathon winner finished in 2 hours, 58 minutes. Wow. Still ahead on the CTV News at 5, a selfless act of a young boy who, even when he had the chance to make any wish come true, used it to give back. A boy given the chance to have a wish come true used it to give something to an NHL superstar. Here's Raheem Ladani.
This is the moment Liam has been working towards for over a year, hanging out with his hockey idol, Toronto Maple Leafs captain Austin Matthews.
I was very excited and happy to meet him.
I know he's been dreaming of this moment for a really long time. Austin Matthews is incredible. It's his hero.
You see, Liam loves hockey. He gets on the ice whenever he can, though it's sometimes challenging living with cystic fibrosis. He was first diagnosed with the respiratory disorder at 3 weeks old.
At the time, we had no clue that we were carriers of it. So it was really scary for me. But I mean, as you can see, he's grown up to be an amazing little boy.
And Dina's amazing 10-year-old is also selfless. And this is where Make-A-Wish Canada comes in. Known for creating life-changing wishes for children diagnosed with critical illnesses, the organization asked Liam what he wants. But instead of a vacation or a new toy, Liam wished for the chance to design custom skates and stick for the Leafs captain.
It just reminded me of Austin Matthews, and I wanted to be like him one day.
His heart is so full. He would literally give you the shirt off his back. So it doesn't surprise me that he wanted to do something special for his hero, Austin.
Oh, dude. Look at these things.
With the help of a custom designer from Calgary, Liam drew some of Matthews' favorite things.
The Toronto Maple Leafs, Austin Matthews' dog, and Carlton the bear.
I was supposed to use them as inspiration. When I saw the drawings, I was like, I'm just going to reproduce the exact drawing, and that's what's going to go on the skate.
After Liam gifted Austin Matthews with the custom pair of skates and stick, Liam was then surprised with a replica version of both just for him. And these skates are also signed by Matthews himself. Is there anything he said to you that was really special?
Yeah. He'll try to get as much goals as he can possibly for me.
And as Matthews tries to follow through on his promise, he'll be keeping Liam's favorite saying in mind.
Never give up.
Raheem Ladani, CTV News.
Thank you for sharing this time with us. Now here's the early edition of the CTV National News.